Kit 8 is a 4-point wheelchair tie-down with a combined 3-point occupant restraint system and solo floor anchors. The wheelchair front tie-down is a fixed length type, whilst the rear tie-down is unwind retractable quattro units mounted together with the occupant restraint system, allowing them to be positioned at the same time for ease of operation. To attach the front straps onto the front anchor points, align the button within the cleat to the slot on the floor anchors like so. Slide the cleat fully home and rotate the assembly through 90 degrees to allow the tongue and buckle fixing to be attached to the wheelchair. With the buckle release button facing outwards, fasten the front straps to the front wheelchair frame on the designated front tie-down attachment point. Repeat procedure with the second tie-down. Pull the wheelchair back to tension the front straps and apply the brakes on the wheelchair. When fitting the rear tie-down, ensure that the inertia reel unit is placed on the wall side of the vehicle nearest the third fixing point and the stalk to the aisle side for quick release in the event of an emergency. Attach the rear restraint onto the rear anchor points by aligning the button within the cleat to the slot on the floor anchors. Slide cleat fully home and rotate assembly through 90 degrees. Press the yellow release button and attach the carabiner to the designated position on the wheelchair frame. Press the yellow release button to take up any webbing slack. Turn the tensioning handles towards the wheelchair until the webbing is taut. Repeat the operation on the other side, making sure that the webbing is equally taut on each quattro unit. The webbing should create an angle of around 30 to 45 degrees and should be in line with the rear of the frame to hold the wheelchair correctly and securely. The occupant restraint can now be fitted to the wheelchair occupant using the double inertia reel and stalk already in position. Clip the third point fixing into the cant rail above the inertia reel. Unfasten the tongue and buckle. Pull the black webbing upwards and unfasten the tongue from the grey webbing buckle. Position the black webbing to form the lap belt and insert the tongue into the buckle stalk. Ensure that the lap belt lays low on the pelvis of the occupant, running close as possible over the hips on both sides. Fit the grey shoulder belt tongue into the third point fixing buckle. Position the grey webbing to form the shoulder belt and insert the tongue into the buckle. Adjust the height of the shoulder belt to clear the occupant's shoulder by approximately 25 mm, 1 inch.
Is that comfortable?
To remove the occupant restraint, first release the grey shoulder belt from the lap belt section, then from the third point fixing, and carefully allow the shoulder belt to return to the retractor. Reconnect the third point fixing tongue and buckle. Disconnect the black lap belt from the buckle stalk on the aisle side and carefully allow the lap belt webbing to return onto its retractor. To protect the restraint webbing, connect the shoulder belt buckle to the lap belt tongue above the opening of the retractor box. To remove the rear combined quattro solo unit, press the yellow release button. Remove the carabiner from the wheelchair frame and guide the webbing into the quattro cover reel. Turn the cleat back through 90 degrees to release and slide it off the floor anchor point. Repeat the operation on the other side. Release the wheelchair brakes and push the wheelchair forwards. Reapply the wheelchair brakes. Undo the tongue and buckle and remove the front straps by turning the cleat back through 90 degrees and sliding it off the floor anchor point. Repeat the operation on the other side. Store Kit 8 in an appropriate place in the vehicle.